Hi guys, my name is Lubuto and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, kindly subscribe. So we all have these voices whenever we have money. One voice will tell us to spend, the other voice will tell us to just settle for something that's safe or put it in a bank, and another voice will be a bit more risky and will tell us to invest. So today I want to tag on that voice that's telling us to invest, and we're going to learn how to invest in bonds, and not just investing in bonds, but how to get rich investing in bonds with a step-by-step investment plan. Another thing that we can think of when we're talking about government bonds is the period of time. So with your friend, you can give your money to your friend and then they agree, boy, I'll pay back your money like 3 months, 6 months, and then 1 year down the line your friend still doesn't pay, and now when they have to pay back, they start saying, this kama same money ka 1,000, you think I can fail to pay back? So you don't have issues like that when it comes to government bonds. So for government bonds, you have a fixed period. So let's say if the payback period or the period that you've decided to invest in is 10 years or 6 years or 7 years or even 15 years, depending on what you decide, that's the maturity period. So we're looking at two things. Number one, you're lending money to the government. Number two, we're looking at a period which we're calling maturity. And in that maturity period, the government needs to pay you back the money that you've lent to. And that's a beauty. You don't have to wait until 15 years for you to get all your money. After 15 years, you get back what we call the principal investment that you had put. If, let's say, you had invested a 5,000 or a 1,000, because the minimum is a 1,000. After 15 years, you get back your 1,000. But what's been happening in the last 15 years? Every 6 months, part of that money, a percent of that profit, not even that money itself. It's not like they slice that money and then at the end you get something less. No. Every 6 months, because your money is being used to make more money and to do more investments, you're being paid a percentage of your profits from that money. Then at the end of that, when all your profits have now been paid, at the maturity period, you now get back that initial investment you had placed into those bonds or you had placed in that. This is something that I believe everyone should take seriously. Before you can begin to invest in anything, you need to invest in yourself. So that's why the sponsors of this video, MOA, have decided that this year we're starting an investment class to teach you and train you on how to invest in bonds and shares. So this won't just be you learning, but this will be action-oriented, and you'll be trained on how to get started investing in bonds and in shares. And it only costs you 100 kwacha. Imagine paying 100 kwacha for an entire year, and you get to learn everything you need to learn about bonds and shares. I feel like that's like a deal of a lifetime. It might be the best investment you might actually make this year. So invest in yourself. If you invest in yourself, everyone else will invest in you. So for our step-by-step action plan, how do we get started, or what do we do to get rich or to make money from bonds? So you remember I said every 6 months you get paid a coupon. Well, you don't have to wait every 6 months for you to get that one coupon. You can spread your investments in such a way that, let's say January you invest in bonds, February you invest, March you invest, all the way to December. So it means from January you invest in January, in June and December you get paid. You invest in February, in July and February you get paid. You invest in March, in whatever 6 months plus 6 months of that you get paid. So you can spread your investments in such a way that instead of you having to wait for 6 months to get one coupon, invest each and every month of it. Because the thing is, there's no limitation with bonds. There's no such thing as because you've invested in bonds this month, no, you should give chance to other people. If you have the money, you can invest. You can spread your investment every month, and it can be like a salary. Instead of you having to wait for the 31st at your workplace, you can have another thing that's bringing you money every month. Think long term. So if you think long term, it means you're going for a period like maybe 10 years, 15 years, 12 years, because the higher the term, the higher the interest. So if you go for a period that's like 15 years, probably the interest that you might be getting will be like a 15% or 14%, somewhere about that. But begin to think long term. You know, the thing is, all of us want to buy luxuries, but what the rich do is they buy luxuries last. They make sure the assets are working for them, they're making the money. Money keeps trickling down like a trickle-down economy. Money keeps coming in, and through that money that's coming now from their profits, that's what they now use to buy luxuries, as opposed to buying the luxury first and not having any money left over to invest. So just get action-oriented, be action-oriented. If you say you're going to do this, follow up on that thing. You should be someone who's accountable to your own self. And I believe if you begin to keep your own word to yourself, everyone else will follow suit, because you won't be tolerating when people don't keep their word to you when they promised. So if you you're action oriented and you keep your word to yourself, everyone else will follow suit. So let's just be action oriented. So the 3 big ideas in our step-to-step investment plan is just simply get started, be action oriented. Number 2, think long term, spread your investments. So once you spread them, instead of you having to wait for 6 months, you can begin to reap your coupons every month. And every month when you receive that money, you can even reinvest it. That's why I'm saying there are no limitations. The only limitation is the one in your mind.